Welcome to Try It Tuesday. Today I am at For Home and Her here with Chris, and what will I be learning?
Today we're going to teach you how we finish our furniture here in the shop.
So the home portion?
The home portion of what we do here. The most important thing we're going to do is choose a good quality piece that's worth spending our time on. We're going to work with a good quality product that we feel comfortable with.
And is this what you sell here?
Yeah, this is what we retail here. It's a zero VOC paint, so no toxic fumes or fragrances. So usually what we like to do is we just start and we just slap the paint on. We try to go in the grain of the wood. I think that's important. You will get, if you choose to, throw on quite a bit, you can get some little striations in there, so we like for that to match the grain of the wood. So usually this is where we're at after coat number 1. We've got most of our surfaces covered, but you know, we might have missed some little spots, so we always like to go over with a second coat just to make sure that we've got everything covered really nicely. And this is our finish we use our texturizer in, so you can kind of see, you'll see on purpose brush strokes and imperfections in the finish. So here's the fun part. Sometimes we're grabbing a sanding block and we're doing some scuffing and rubbing.
That's get frustrations out?
Yeah, you can work it out. You know, build the upper arm muscle. Take it outside though if you do this step, because you never know. It's always good to get the dust outside instead of inside. So this piece though, we're not going to do that. Okay. We're going to do something that's a little bit more progressive, something that we've been finding our customers requesting, and that's where that color underneath stays hidden. You know, if we don't want that goldeny oak, or let's say it was lime yellow, we're not going to sand through this because we don't want that to peekaboo. So instead, we've created that character in our finish by letting it dry in an imperfect way. And so we see all of these ripples and places where brush strokes have formed because we've just put on way too much paint. And we're going to let that work in our favor. So what we've done is we've taken one of our waxes. This is what I like to use. It's my favorite, but it's also easy to teach with because you can see it. It's black. Looks like a shoe polish. It's natural. There's nothing in here that's going to be toxic unless peanuts are a worry at home. Keep the moist stuff away until it's dry. So we scooped a little bit onto a paper plate. You'll see it kind of looks like a shoe polish. I'm going to take our handy dandy little brush. We're going to start by getting just a small amount on the bottom of our brush. This is where it gets a little scary. I'll start and then you can follow me. How's that sound?
Absolutely.
So we're going to start at one end and we're going to press down with a slightly firm hand and work in a circular motion. Our goal is to take this wax and we want to spread it out from the starting point until we get a nice even step or even finish like that. So we're seeing all this black. It's like, whoo, spooky. Okay, so I'll get you some on here. And you can always apply a little bit too much. You'll just want to spread it out. So you can kind of start anywhere here along this line, start in a circular motion with a slight pressure, and you're going to start working that wax down. It's kind of like blending blush out or blending a cosmetic. You want to start heavy in the spot where you want the most pigment, and then really start to spread it out and blend. And so
Mine's darker than yours.
It's good though, because you've got a little more wax. So what you're going to do is you're going to follow about a half overlap, start back down here, and start dragging. Yep, there you go. And just blending that wax right out.
Look at that. You want this baby in your house.
So we're gonna, once we've got this fully covered with a light layer, we tend to say a texture of Vaseline. So when it to feel like Vaseline, that's when you know it's a good time to walk away. We're gonna let this sit for 20 to 40 minutes. We're gonna go grab a bottle of wine, maybe a little snack, whatever it is, check on the kids. Then you're gonna come back and you're gonna take your lint-free cloth. I like to use well-washed bed sheets. Bed linens work really nicely. T-shirts can do the same. You're just gonna fold in the raw ends because we don't want the lints, you know, on our piece. So after we've let this sit for 20 to 40 minutes, we're gonna go back and wipe. And this is where the magic starts to happen. This is where those imperfections really start to do us a big favor. So we're gonna start on one end and we're just gonna drag down. So all of those imperfections give us grooves and places for that wax to catch. So it really begins to create a finish that has a ton of character that took very little intentional planning. It's a little bit of texturizer. And we just go back and we wipe this off. All that excess needs to go away. Just like shoe polish, you're not going to leave a ton of it on, just enough so that we can come back and check on it in a little while. So we've wiped all the excess off. Now, when we walk away, we're going to shoot for a texture that feels like chapstick on a moist lip. You see how that kind of resembles chapstick. Before we get something really heavy and greasy, kind of like if you touch up here where I haven't wiped, you can kind of feel it's just like
kind of sticky almost.
Yeah. This is our end result of where we like to end up. And if you want to follow me into the other side of the shop, I can show you what has spurred the inspiration for this over the last 3 years.
Okay, perfect.
And here we are on the For Her side of the shop. This is one of the examples of this finish once it's set up and cured. It is by far the most popular thing that we do in the shop, and I just love it. It takes pieces that are boring and ordinary and gives them a real designer look for not a lot of bucks.
So you'll be able to find this in my home. It's beautiful. So obviously you can learn some great tips and tricks from Chris here at For Home and Her. And wouldn't you like a piece like this in your home that you had a part in making? So come to the next Try It Tuesday and keep learning tips and tricks from our local companies. Thank you, Chris, for teaching me how to do this. And
Thank you.
I love it. Stay tuned. Bye, guys.